Hi, how are you guys doing? I'm deep in the woods in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, if you don't believe me. And there's a war in Iraq. I mean, Iran. I'm going to talk about Iraq, that's why I said that. And just published an article about the inside intel of what's going on, that there's more of a deeper story than what they're saying on the news. And it's interesting now I'm reading this book, which I want to give a huge plug for because it's so significant. It's called Exopolitics. And it's about the politics between humans and non-humans. And it's a great book on classification and identification of non-human influences on Earth. So it's not only what we consider to be aliens, it's also spiritual entities, which most Christians would know about. It includes ancient beings, inner earthers, humans from other planets, and aliens, of course, but it's all kinds of things. It's across the spectrum, and how that influences politics, because it does influence politics probably more than any other force, but we don't talk about it because it's taboo, because after World War II they created a information bubble around this topic, so you can't talk about it outside of church. In church they talk about it a lot, but can't talk about it on TV. It's weird. They allow Ancient Aliens to be on TV. Ancient Aliens is a great series. It's very well documented, very well produced. It's a great production. I love it. I've watched probably every one, but it's limited. Ancient Aliens is never going to interview contactees, people with real experiences, and I'm gonna back that up, because just in this last season I watched where they did interview a contactee, but for however long it's been around, they haven't allowed it. That was the first time, and I'm surprised. But we're seeing a disclosure movement. But it's all controlled by the military, and that information bubble has existed since World War II. And that's the part of the information is that after World War II, during World War II, or even before the war, Germans had spaceships, and they were working with non-human civilizations. Leave it at that, because we're not sure about who or where or how, and there's some debate, and we don't have hard evidence about that. What we do have hard evidence is that they did have craft, because they had them for decades after the war, and they went to Antarctica and they kept them there. And there was a UFO major sighting over the White House in the 1950s, and the secret is that it was the Germans. It wasn't aliens. It was the Germans, the Germans from Antarctica, just sending a message. And they secretly have been around and been a thing, and they just quietly did their own thing. Part of the deep state, probably very influential in the deep state. But anyway, this book is great because it talks about the real reason for the Iraq War, and a lot of people, including soldiers, will know about this. After the Iraq War, after the invasion, the first thing we did is we ransacked the museums, and just think, why? Why would we go ransack the museums? But the reason was there were stargates in Iraq, and also information about how to build stargates. Perhaps when the Anunnaki came to Earth and helped the Sumerians with law, with medicine, with all the things that they say in the tablets, that they gave humans all of these things, basically the rules and the tools to build civilization. Maybe if the Anunnaki said they were going to return, so maybe if they came back to Iraq, whoever was controlling Iraq would not only control the stargates, but be an ambassador to the Anunnaki. So obviously the clandestine government did not want Russia to control Iraq or some other force. So we had to get control of Iraq because that's where the stargates were, and the history was there.